Hey, this is Kevin Robinson, and you're watching my first hand. I'm Kevin Robinson, and we are sitting in Ferguson Township, which is right outside of State College, Pennsylvania, at this beautiful overlook, and it's a cool place to hang out. For my first hand, you're gonna take a ride with me through my life. You're pretty much gonna do it as it unfolded and the way it really happened. With injuries and going back to the beginning and the rise back to the top. On this journey, you definitely find out just the significance of what my family means to me and what roles they've played in my life. Not just my family, but my friends and friends from the past and people that have really motivated me throughout my life and helped pave the way to where I am today. Things probably people don't know about me is I'm a real sensitive person. The It was dead quiet 2 seconds ago. You know, most people have this misconception I'm just angry and want to fight all the time. I can mash it and rip it apart.
Kevin Robinson is he's a big, strong, hulking man.
I mean, Kevin's always been like one of the burliest riders in the sport, always hucking like gnarly tricks, and I guess I was never afraid of Kevin. Let's get this straight. But at the same time, he was always like, man, that guy's pretty gnarly. Like you hear stories about him being a butt kicker and whatnot. But it's all made up baloney. Kevin's the sweetest guy I know.
You always can remember the guys that really did something special, you know? They weren't the guys that just hung out on the deck and talked all the time. They were the guys that every time you turned around, they're rolling in, and that was Kevin, you know?
I know I can overcome adversity. I always have, and I always will. I'm not afraid of a challenge. First thing in San Jose is where we start in the first hand. You know, going into the contest, I was first in points. I really went to that contest trying to convince myself to just keep it mellow. I didn't want to get injured. You know, if I could stay in top two, I'd be fine. You know, I know Jamie would pull ahead of me, but I know I'd still be close for going into the finals. So I really just wanted to walk away from that contest healthy and not beat up my body. You know, the progression of BMX in the last few years has just been insane. It's gotten to the point now where it's every contest you don't know what to expect. I've kind of always been known for that, really. You know, I just always showing up and trying something new and pushing myself to try something that's never been done before. You still want to take that risk, you know, you still want that, I still want that feeling of I could get hurt doing this, you know, and I love being able to cross that barrier regardless. You know, leading into the prelims, you know, I had the mentality like, you know, it doesn't matter. I'm like, just go up, do what you got to do to qualify. And that's exactly what I did. You know, I kept it safe, kept it clean. I mean, I kept it busy every wall. I just did a lot of flares because I wanted to save everything for the finals. I qualified 6th, and which is lower than I usually do, but I had no problem with it. You know, I wanted to get in there, keep it safe, and go easy on my wrist, and just kind of save it all for the finals. I remember being in the medic room, getting my wrist taped up, watching a little bit of the Patriots game before we went out for the finals. Patriots, my team, a little torn that I have to leave this game to go ride my bike. And now it's time to go to work and lay it on the line. My first finals run, everything went great. I did everything I wanted to do. It was going smooth, I was going high, linking all my tricks together. And then I just slid out on an opposite no-handed flare at the end, which still put me in second place. I remember doing my second run, and I remember I did a couple extra setup airs, which I don't usually ever do. You know, I usually link everything together. And I think that threw me off mentally, and it made me tired. I went to do the opposite no-handed flare, and I just pulled out too much, and I knew I did. And because I was going the opposite direction, you know, I wasn't ready for the fall, and that's the last thing I remember.
Oh, no.
You know, I've hit my head so many times. Honestly, I've had probably over 35 concussions, and that's no exaggeration at all. You know, I've been out unconscious over 20 times, and you know, you get pro football players that do that 5 times and retire. So, you know, just to give people kind of an indication what we put ourselves through.
We're at the San Jose Regional Medical Center. In the ICU waiting room, Kevin's right behind that wall. He was out for over 10 minutes. That's what the medic said, which is a pretty long time to be unconscious. So this is the kind of stuff, when you're younger, you don't think about it as much, but as you get older, you realize you should make sure you're all right. Kevin's got a kid and a kid on the way to think about.
The first thing I remember was waking up in the hospital to hearing that the Patriots won. So that automatically put me in a good mood. That was a rough one, but I got second, so that's all right. They saw a little blood on my brain, so I just want to make sure it's nothing significant. So they're gonna do a CAT scan in the morning again just to recheck my brain. But man, this is bike riding, man. This is part of it. So just gotta accept it, roll with it, and move on to the next thing. This is Kevin Robinson here in Providence, Rhode Island for my first hand. Check it out. I had the crash and then decided just to go back to Rhode Island to kind of, I really wanted to get grounded again. It just allowed me the time to go back and just remind me of why I am where I am. It just makes me reflect on how much I've done in my life. Sometimes you take for granted the little things that do mean a lot. I always say you find a job you love and you'll never have to work again. It was awesome just being in Providence and stopping by all the old street spots. We went by the first handrail I ever did. That was a pretty glorified moment. Oh, the ride through the bus tunnel was pretty sketchy. If 2 buses were coming at once, you were in trouble. We stopped by the bike shop where my whole life of bike riding really began. This is your bike shop. There he is. There's Joe.
I remember when the kids first came in, they all started asking for lavender, lime green, and pink components. And I said, you've got to be kidding. Once these guys took them around the neighborhood and everybody saw their bikes, we couldn't keep them in stock.
That was the first avenue, really, towards finding something that I just absolutely loved. And through that, I met a kid named Fred McDonald, who, you know, is one of my great buddies growing up. You know, he was who I started riding with. The first ramp I ever had was in his backyard.
This is where the half pipe was.
Yeah, this is, right here was it.
And then, of course, when you have a backyard half pipe, you have to start having competitions and inviting as many people over as you can.
We're having a mini ramp contest, same direction. It's at Fred's backyard, and we want everyone to be there.
We started the Eastern Ramp Association and organized street contests, a few vert contests, and there were several mini ramp contests in the backyard. And
this is going to begin the ERA Jam.
There'd be a crowd on the roof, crowd around the ramp, and
we kind of started destroying the gutter. I remember, like your mom and dad
weren't happy.
They weren't too psyched about that.
Somehow they tolerated it, but they weren't happy.
Check out those nice 2-hip shirts. You guys want a 2-hip shirt? We got the 2-hip Memphis shirt over here. This is radicalness defined right here. If you want to live the life of a rad dude, you have to have one of these.
I remember this like it was yesterday, and this is where my heart is, and this is where it all began for me, and I don't think that'll ever change, you know. Well, we went to my old junior high school to see the principal now, who used to be my old gym coach.
I remember Kevin coming in as a peanut into wrestling. Kevin was eager. He wanted to be successful. You could see that in Kevin. The perception is BMX biking. Okay, it's BMX biking. Oh, they're doing tricks. Okay, they're doing tricks. And that's all you hear. They are as much athletes as any other professional sport out there. If you want to be successful, you got to put the time and effort in it. And obviously, Kevin has.
You know, I don't think he ever really knew how much motivation he was to me and what a positive influence he was to me on my life. Yeah, we went to visit my oldest brother, Kenny, and he's who I worked for doing upholstery. Since I was 12 years old, I started working for him. This room here, this is all boat cushions. This is the foam cutting room where I usually find my nephew. The great thing for me is I swallowed all this foam and stuff for years, and then I left and I moved to Woodward, and I jump in foam pits where I still swallow foam. No, this is a Singer. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's made for heavy-duty industrial material. This isn't something you'd sew like your mom's skirt with. This is what he used to do to me.
I used to draw lines, so you could follow the line yourself.
We'll get on the line. Let's see what we can do. No, this isn't my machine, so. Oh, that's bad. All right, now we're feeling it. Oh, and then foot falls off.
You're breaking it already. Look at this. See? Go back to BMXing. It was too bad we had to lose him when we did, but he can't ride BMX forever.
Someone's gonna take over the family business. It's funny how priorities change, you know. I mean, bike riding used to be my life. You know, as you get older, you end up balancing that stuff out a lot, and you know, my family definitely takes precedence over anything now. My wife, Robin, she's never getting rid of me.
I'm 8 months pregnant, and we have a 1-year-old. So when Kevin is away, especially for months at a time, it definitely gets very challenging for me. It makes me nervous when he obviously is sleeping on the flat bottom for 10 minutes. Yeah, I don't like seeing that, but it's part of the job, and I understand that. I understand his inner drive to do it, and how he can't stop until he's ready to.
My dad was a hard worker, and just, you know, he taught me that you're responsible for your own actions, and, you know, the best thing you'll ever learn is independence. Do everything for yourself. You may not have much, but at least what you have is yours.
Well, beyond my wildest dreams did I ever think that when I first bought him his first little tricycle, that this is going to evolve into something that he's doing now. I'll tell you, I'm so... I'm so proud of him. When he does his tricks, I'm rolling with it. Every time he goes up and down, I'm rolling with it, and I'm saying to myself, God, just don't let him get hurt. And I told him, I said, just do the best you can, and whatever will be. He's done well. But I am so very proud of him.
I'm Kevin Robinson. We're here at Woodward Camp stay tuned, we'll be back with my first hand. Yeah, I live right in State College Township, and State College is very based around Penn State University. Just the whole city is thriving off the growth of the school, and that's how the city has grown. I live in suburbia, you know. On Saturdays, everybody's out cutting their grass, and Sundays, everybody's out walking their kids, and I love it. Kind of a real close-knit community, you know, and I love being a part of it. 6 houses down from me, John Parker built a house, and I can lean out my front door and wave to John and, you know, borrow a cup of sugar if I need to. The great thing about living here is just it's such a great escape from the kind of hectic life that we do live. You know, when you're out on the road, you're just around so many people and around so much hecticness all the time. This is the greatest place to come escape and just enjoy the peace and quiet, you know. I just really appreciate coming home. So when I'm home, you know, I love getting up in the morning. You know, I jump on the Harley a lot, take it over to the waffle shop, you know, go get some breakfast, take a little ride. I love riding my Harley. I mean, to me, it's such a nice escape. I get to get on the bike and go take off. It's nice. There's no cell phones. There's no talking. There's no dealing with anything to do with riding or anything else. It's just such a good separation and a chance for you to really just kind of reflect on yourself, you know, and just enjoy what's around you. I mean, you look around here, you know, it's such a peaceful place to be.
3, 4.
Woodward Camp is definitely the premier place for action sports. I mean, riding at Woodward's, it's amazing, you know. I mean, you have every opportunity here to ride anything you want, any surface you want. You know, the ramps are amazing. They're all dialed and perfect. You don't have to worry about a sketchy ramp or a sketchy design. You get the foam pits, you got resi, you got use of computer and monitors to watch yourself ride, to play back and see what you're doing wrong. I mean, it's technology at its best for, you know, for action sports. On top of all that, it still has that, like, small town backwood feel to it. Favorite building here for me is definitely Cloud 9. You know, it's got the vert ramp in it, and I can just get on a vert ramp sometimes and just do like a big 12-foot air and do a huge 540, and there's just no better feeling. I've learned throughout my life the best thing to do is just get back up on the horse. You know, one of the first tricks I did when I got back on my bike was an opposite no-handed flare. I did it on the resi, but just to do it, just to get it out of my system and not be afraid of it. Regardless of what you learn on a resi or foam pit or anything, when it comes time to do something on the real ramp, it's still scary, you know, there's no doubt about it. And it takes a special individual to be able to cross that fear barrier. You know, no matter what the consequences are, you're willing to try it no matter what. That to me is still the favorite reason why I ride a bicycle, for sure. Cloud 9 is actually straight back with the doors open, the overhead doors. It's a big building all the way on the top. It's the highest point. That's my favorite building. Next to that, I'd say down behind here, which is the gym. Taking care of my body is very important to me. I really do that because I want to keep riding my bike for as long as I can. I'm 33 now, you know, and time's gonna catch up to me quick, and I know that, you know, and I know I'm in the last glory years of my bike riding, and I want to make them count for everything I can. You know, Tom and I have been lifting together for quite a long time. He's definitely my favorite workout partner. We push each other to the limits. It's awesome. It's just awesome having somebody else with that mentality. I graduated high school. I was 118 pounds, you know, 5'7", scrawny, skinny kid. Through the years later on, I learned that I really had an insecurity about how skinny I was. I almost lashed out and made me rebel, I guess I would say. I took karate for like 9 years and hoping that would help. And it did help, but then it also made me more dangerous. It's not something I'm proud of. You know, I know there's people out there that I've hurt that I wish I could take back, and I would love to say I'm sorry. You know, I've come to peace with that part of my life now. You know, that's behind me. I am definitely not the most gifted bike rider that's ever ridden a bike, you know? I've had to work real hard for what I do. At this point, doing firsthand, for me, it's not about having to go out and ride and do the craziest stuff I've ever done, and I don't need to prove myself as a bike rider anymore. I've proved myself time and time again. I really want people to be able to kind of take a walk with me through my life and understand where I came from and how I was created, and the people that never really knew me and have a misconception of me could understand me better. I'm on this planet to enjoy life and to enjoy the gifts that God gave me, and if I can take that out of life, then that's more than I could ever ask for.
I feel like letting you know how much I love you today.
I'm gonna get you. You wanna see me lose it? I wanna lose it. No, I'm just kidding.